Welcome back to Stream It, Quarantine Edition. Today we're gonna talk about just the state of streaming right now because it's more important than ever with everyone being home. There's so much stuff to watch and so much time to watch everything. Then we're gonna talk about the first two episodes of Avenue 5, which we watched 2 weeks ago now, but we can finally talk about it. And we're gonna start Westworld, which just started airing like 2 weeks ago on HBO. So we're going to start that as our next show. So start watching that with us. And then we're just going to talk about some of our favorite shows that we've watched and we think would be great to watch during this quarantine time now that we're all home. So we can jump right in.
2020 has been unbelievable so far. I mean,
what a great time to stream shows, though.
Yeah, no. We just got so much more relevant.
We did.
We are must-see TV right now.
Our brand just
that's all anybody has time to do.
Yeah. And as we were saying, the streaming services are like adapting with the times now. Movies being released that should be in theaters, but now you can watch them at home.
That's right.
Crazy.
I was listening to two people talk. What would be the max you would spend? So say it was like Endgame. What would be the max you would spend at home to watch it? Like they're putting movies out for $19.99. So basically, you can watch it for $20. But what would be the max?
Is that to rent or to buy?
To rent. Like instead of going to a theater, you can just watch it in your living room.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Because usually it's like $20 to buy one. You know what I mean?
Right. So imagine like you go to the theater, it's like $14, and then you buy snacks, a drink. It's coming to like $25.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like 20 is such a good deal.
Well, especially that's like the carload deal. I mean, if you're home with your family and you guys all want to watch a film, then $20 is pretty good for like a theater movie.
And you can just split it at home now. You can't do that at a theater. You got to each pay.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, 20 is pretty
more. The bigger your family, the more bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd pay like $2 to watch.
I wonder if I've noticed like companies are still like Black Widow and Wonder Woman, those are still getting pushed. They're not getting released because they know that they can. The money is in selling tickets, individual tickets. That's where something like Emma or The Hunt. The Hunt was weird because it was already out in theaters, so they kind of had their opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that like Disney Pixar's Onward has been like touted as a first early theater release, and then also it's going to be on Disney Plus, like the beginning of April, which is pretty quick. But they have the clout to, also be a box office hit. So I feel like that is almost kind of like a generous move by Disney. I mean, I think they're in a fine position to do that.
Yeah.
And like even with Frozen, like that was out obviously for a while. But they were like, boom, put it right on Disney Plus for people. So I don't know. I kind of appreciate them kind of doing their little part just to give some people a little bit of joy at home when it's, such trying times. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. And like you said, Tom, just giving people a deal on like theater movies it's kind of nice of the industry to like make that stuff available.
I had heard that Onward had the biggest drop from opening weekend to second weekend ever for a Pixar movie. So I wonder if that's why they were like, let's get it out.
Did it come out before?
Yeah. Like a week before everyone really started social distancing and staying at home and stuff. So it had a pretty good opening weekend, but then the second weekend, no one went.
Right. Yeah. That's when everything started.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember I saw before they announced, like maybe 2 days before they announced that they were going to release it on Disney Plus, there was a bunch of headlines that were like, oh, Disney's in a very unique position, like, because they could just re-release it in theaters if they wanted to.
Yeah.
when this is all over. But I mean, who knows when they can do that? So, but like you said, like they're already. It's not like they're in a bad financial spot. They can definitely give us the movie now if they want to and be fine.
Exactly. Plus, they have other like things in the works. I think it's like Soul or something.
Mm.
So like they have stuff that's going to be coming out. It's not like they need to delay that one to like make like sure that's what they're in the business of making money, but I think it's kind of more telling for their subscribers and viewers and fans that they're like throwing everybody a bone kind of. It's probably a pretty good move.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Star Wars comes out on Disney Plus soon.
All right, yeah.
That just was it last weekend or last week it was available to buy and rent? Or is it coming up?
You can buy it right
Yeah.
now on digital. And then next week it comes out on DVD. So I'm hoping that like it'll also just be available to stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet. So I'm excited.
You can join in on the controversial conversations about it after.
Exactly.
I'm
sure I'll be. Yeah. Oh man. Well, so we jumped right into our first topic here.
Yeah. So, do we want to switch gears a bit and talk about Avenue 5 finally?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we watched the first 2 episodes like 2 weeks ago, thinking we'd talk about it that week, but then everything got crazy.
Yeah, I finished it the Tuesday before we usually film on Wednesday afternoon, but Wednesday morning we got an interesting text and everything got thrown out of whack.
I had a baby. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I feel like when I watched those episodes, it was like months ago now. But yeah, so I mean, so far, very interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know what I expected. I think I kind of expected like maybe like a Michael Schur type of funny show, but this one's very like dry humor and like it's almost like if you're not listening to like the people talking, you'll miss the joke because it's very like I don't know, like downplayed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I almost like it was a little bit slow for me, I guess, because of that. I think, but it had some funny parts. I don't know if I was like I feel like I was in the same boat. I was almost expecting a little bit more of a comedy, and I don't know. It's just a little different. But they got some good like characters going on, and like the premise is definitely interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested, but it's definitely a little slow out of the gate here for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, that it was slow. I was like 10 or so minutes in, and I was like, okay, we're pretty slow here. Getting close to the end of the first episode, I was like, all right, so everything's gone down. Like the ship went off course, whatever, all that happened. And I was like, still haven't had a lot of yucks yet. But like you said, there's like Karen's funny. It's funny that's like the internet thing now for people that complain to a manager is Karen. And they have she has the Karen haircut and complains and all that stuff and is nosy. I like the characters, and the comedy is it makes sense. It's like Veep. It's the same guy that does it. It's very like kind of witty, saying snarky stuff to each other, which is like what Veep was like. So that makes sense. But yeah, I wasn't like, oh, I need to watch the next one.
Right.
Like we kind of were with Russian Doll.
Yeah. I guess like there seems like such a crisis going on, but then they're not completely like committing to either like making a joke of it or being super serious about it. You know what I mean? Like Josh Gad, he's like kind of a crazy character. Not all of that's landed for me. He's like super over the top, and it's like almost unrealistic, but then you're having him like swear at NASA and stuff, and it's like, wait, you guys are in like a huge situation
Yeah.
that like you probably can't be joking about unless you're just going to be joking about it the whole time, which they're not doing. You know what I mean?
Sell out.
It's a weird combination. I will say though that I love the character. I don't know if I think it's Gabe in Silicon Valley.
No, Gabe from The Office.
Oh, Gabe from The Office. What?
Yeah.
Jared in Silicon Valley.
Jared and yeah.
And I don't remember his name in this show right now.
Matt.
What was it?
Matt.
Matt. Yes, he's very absorbent. That was he's I don't know, I like his comedy and just like the way he delivers lines and stuff. He's pretty good. So he was probably my favorite so far. He's funny, but yeah, it's kind of a weird comedy serious thing going on, and I'm not like all the way in yet.
Yeah, I think that they have the task of trying to like they have a very serious like not supernatural sci-fi type of like issue, but it's a comedy show, and I think that they're like haven't found the balance yet. But then like with other shows, like you can deal with a serious subject and make it very funny, like in The Good Place. Like I feel like they have a nice balance.
Oh yeah.
And this show is still kind of like, yeah, like not super consistent. I think the only two characters that have landed for me are Matt and the second engineer. I think her name is Billy.
Oh yeah, I like her too.
Yeah, she's kind of like stayed the same of like she's the serious character and the only one kind of taking it seriously.
Yeah, but then she like freaks out when like at them for not taking it seriously.
Yeah,
and like she's funny. I liked her too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they have like, and again, we've only seen two, but they've introduced like it's really funny that there's a 27-second delay when they talk to NASA.
Yeah,
it's just like they can't get that any shorter. That's a good thing, like jumping off point almost. And then in the second episode, when they try and give the space burials to the people, but the ship is so big it has its own orbit that dead bodies are orbiting around the ship. So that stuff's funny, but other than that, I totally agree about Josh Gad. Like I'm watching and I'm like, this just is a little too far outside your box.
Yeah.
Like maybe unfortunately for his career, he is kind of a sidekick, like LeFou and Olaf. Like he just can't quite be kind of that main guy. And maybe they'll kind of write him that way eventually. Yeah. But it's too much with the wig and just being over the top and all that stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if the whole show will kind of come into its own. Like they've set the table, they've established some of the characters now. We're very obviously like into the what are they going to do? This is going to take years now instead of a month's long vacation. So they've definitely set the table, and like you said, there are some like funny components and like things that they're doing. But so maybe it'll like start to come into its own, and we'll really buy in a little bit more as we go here. Hopefully.
I also think they have a good chance to grow on the couple that hates each other and is stuck there, that is about to get a divorce.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope they go towards like that and Matt and those things more as the season goes on, more than just like focusing on the 4 people that sit in the boardroom and try and figure out the crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the side characters that are kind of more interesting.
Exactly.
Introducing at least. Did you notice that Karen's husband is David Wallace from The Office?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they were there on accident. It was like supposed to be her sister or something, but she got sick. And whenever she complains, Zach Woods is like, "You're not even supposed to be here."
Yeah. And
yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the captain. I feel like he's not really doing it for me. It's just been like he's posing as the captain to like be the face, and then the crisis hits, and he's like, still, I don't know. It's just he hasn't been super funny, and he hasn't.
Is it tough for you to distinguish him from being House.
I never really
he's
watched
such a
House.
serious character.
I never really watched House, but I just feel like they're following him a lot, and he's not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, he's not being that funny. He's not like forwarding it. I don't know. So I think I'd like to see a little bit more from what they're gonna do with him. You know, because he's like in the bind as the captain, but nobody's like. He's just like deflecting, and there's nothing. There's no like. He's not in his own bind. He's just kind of carrying you through what everyone on the ship is going through. I don't know. So we'll see if he kind of gets a little bit more involved. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely. They have good potential with his storyline being that he's basically a paid actor.
Right.
Everyone thinks that everyone is turning to him. So I think that they could definitely. I hope the plot gets interesting with that because I mean the episodes are already out, so I guess we'll find out pretty soon. But they could definitely do something cool with that, especially with like Karen is like turning to him at every moment when he comes out of the office and is like, "So what's going on?"
Right.
And he's like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of that. They're like, I don't know. Like, okay, like now what? So.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just like the first 2 episodes of the first season, and they're like, okay, we have to like just kind of introduce everyone. We have to set it up, and then it'll just start to pick up steam after that.
Yeah, I have hope.
I'm just afraid. One thing I'm afraid of is like, so if you think of The Office, Silicon Valley, Parks and Rec, like those 3 specific shows, you had Michael and Dwight in The Office as instantly just being really funny and being like, okay, these are like the screwballs. Parks and Rec had Andy like instantly, and not Guilfoyle, what was Ehrlich in Silicon Valley. So you had like the straight people, but then you just had that slapstick guy, which if that's Josh Gad, it's not landing, which is a problem.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about. It's like, okay, they're putting all their eggs in the Josh Gad being like that Andy Dwyer, Ehrlich, Dwight Schrute character, which might not work.
No, I agree.
Yeah. He's had a few moments that funny. Not many. There was a few. Like I liked the part, this is like so small, but when he finds out that the guy, he's like, "Are you Australian?" And the guy's like, "No, I'm British." And he's like, "Oh, even worse." And it's like,
that's worse. Yeah. That was funny.
But yeah, so I think that it's definitely there. They're just, like overplaying it and making him very cartoonish. And I think that playing Olaf doesn't help his reputation being very cartoonish.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have hope. I've seen some people say that they really like it, and hopefully they just don't have bad taste, and that's why they're saying that.
Yeah. I mean, actually, after talking about it just now, like I'm actually kind of excited now to keep going. Because I feel like we got that off our chest, and now we can be like, all right, like what else you got for us? You know?
Yeah, okay, we all agree now.
Yeah. So I think there's a little bit to look forward to. So I'm interested to keep going here.
So should we watch 2 more for next time? Or do we want to up it or?
I think 2 more is good.
I think 2's good. Just for conversation wise. If we watch more, we might be like too much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. That sounds good. And then we can also start Westworld season 3.
Yes.
Yes. What are they? There are a few episodes out already, right?
I think 2. Right?
Yeah. This will be the 3rd.
Yeah. So we'll be behind a little bit, but that's not bad. Because this isn't a show where you can watch like multiple episodes.
And talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. They're usually pretty complex. So that sounds good. Well, we can watch, the first 2 of those?
Do we want to watch 2 or do we want to watch 1? They're an hour long. I mean, I'll watch 2. It's just they're pretty dense, if I remember.
You know what? Maybe we'll watch the first one and then communicate.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring it back to you guys, you viewers on Stream It, and let you guys know what we decided.
Yeah. Plus, they're doing weekly releases, so we would end up being like ahead if we tried to watch 2. We wouldn't be able to get it.
Let's start with 1, but if we can't stop, then we'll all agree to move on, or not.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
Probably have to take notes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I listened to a recap of season 2 and I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. So
I have to do that as well.
In depth.
And if there's time jumps, then we're really in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, so that sounds good. I'm excited because I've been meaning to watch it anyways. So now it's part of the job.
Now you get paid to do it.
Yeah.
You can just bill that for an hour.
All right.
Very cool.
So did we want to do, I've seen people doing this a lot. Pretty much every podcast I listen to, people are like giving recommendations for like what to watch or read or anything while you're at home. So I was thinking that could be something cool that we could do. And I was thinking it could be something like that we've already watched, that we know we like, and you can probably watch all of or most of on a streaming service.
I just started. I'm on season 2 now of Schitt's Creek on Netflix.
Oh, good one.
It's SCHITT.
So we don't need to beep it.
Yeah, I watched the first season probably in 2 days because it's only 2-minute episodes, but there's like already 6 seasons on Netflix, I think.
Oh, wow.
So you can be in it for the long haul. Great for being at home for a long time. And it's so funny. It's very goofy and just easy to keep going into the next episode. The characters are ridiculous, but in a great way.
Yeah, I've watched the first 3 episodes, and it's so easy to just like, watch the next one, and just keep rolling with it. They are pretty funny, and it's pretty well done. Like I like how they're, the characters and how they set it all up. So I'm interested to get back to it. It's good.
Yeah, so that's a good one. What about you guys?
As a little shift from that comedy, I am currently watching the 5th season of Better Call Saul, and seasons 1 through 4 are on Netflix. And Sarah, I know you're in the midst of Breaking Bad, and Camel, you've watched it, but it is like, so has Saul been introduced to you yet, Sarah?
Yes.
So really, I mean, as you can imagine, it's his origin story. So he's just like, it's about how he almost, it's funny to put it this way, but it's almost how he like breaks bad in becoming a lawyer, how he goes from being like this straight lawyer that's working in a mailroom to Saul Goodman. And like, his name is really Jimmy McGill. And like, he practices under that name for a while, and then he slowly just like finds out he can kind of like cheat the system and do stuff like that. And it's done by the same people as Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan and all those people. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to watch that show because I think he is basically my favorite character in Breaking Bad. Like he's really corrupt in Breaking Bad pretty much, but like he's the one person that the whole time I've never really been like annoyed with him, or like even when he does the bad stuff, like I can still be like, oh, I still like him, as opposed to like Walter. Half the time I'm like, oh my God, he's so annoying.
Yeah. So seasons 1 through 4, and then season 5 will probably be out there soon because it's about the 6th episode was just Monday night, so it's probably done soon. I wonder how many episodes it's going to be. What about you?
For me, I'm still on. Been watching the 9-9, which I know I've been talking about on this show constantly. I haven't really gotten out of. I haven't watched anything really new lately. I'm looking forward to. I forget what it's called, but the one that it's a little bit sci-fi. The one that you guys said I would like. It seems like it's right up my alley. The new Netflix show.
Oh, I am not okay with this.
I'm not okay with this. Yes.
I watched that.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's
And
good.
it was good.
Yeah, it's like a half coming of age story, half like mysterious sci-fi superpower type thing.
Yes. No, that sounds good. So I don't know. You guys looking for a recommendation from me? I feel like I haven't watched anything new lately, and I'm in a bit of a show hole on that. But I'm looking forward to that. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else I need to
So
catch.
what's not even a what about a show that you've not so much like Parks and Rec or The Office, but something you've seen that you like really recommend for people that's on Netflix or Hulu?
Oh, um, I mean, one that comes to mind is this is got a million seasons and it's great, but Shameless. I have watched pretty much. I'm caught up on that, and most of those are on Netflix. If you haven't seen them, but that's a. Have you guys seen? Have you guys watched that show?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, me too. Like 3 seasons, I think.
Oh wow! So yeah, there's a lot there, and I mean, I guess if you really want to like jump in the binge machine and like watch a whole lot of content, you could start from the beginning and watch all those. But I think they've got like 8 or 9 seasons at this point, and it's a grungy, like cringy show, but it's just you fall in love with the characters. And I will say a lot of like long shows like that they lose steam, from season to season. And I think they've just done an awesome job keeping it like just relevant and interesting. And like the kids start young and they grow up like throughout the seasons. Same actors like all the way through, and it's just like a really well written and well done show that I think it's hard to keep like relevant and keep up with the keeping it interesting and keep writing plot lines for characters that make sense and don't get stale. So I guess if I gotta pick one that's like just a classic good binge worthy show, Shameless is right up there. One of my faves.
What I saw from it, I really enjoyed. I don't know why I stopped. It wasn't because I wasn't into it. I think I just kind of like just forgot about it, got busy, and then I forgot to go back. Um, but I remember I loved it, and the characters were so good. I really liked Joan Cusack's character is like a what is she, like an agoraphobe where she's afraid to go
Oh,
outside.
yeah, she's good. Um, yeah, and it's funny because all of them now, having seen them all, like they're such big character arcs because it's so long. So like, yeah, at the beginning she is like a shut in and stuff, and then she grows out of that and it has different stuff that goes on, and yeah, it really from the beginning to now it's such a long like period. It's pretty crazy how much it changes.
Do you have another, Sarah?
Um, this one's very short. There is a second season coming out. It's called Dead to Me on Netflix. It has Christina Applegate in it. I think there's maybe like 7 episodes and they're only half hour, but it's a good like dramedy thriller. So basically, what happens is Christina Applegate is the main character. Her husband is dies. You don't really know how for the first few episodes how he died. I'm trying not to spoil it. So basically, like things are happening where the connections are closer than she thinks. And it's kind of just the story of her figuring it out and dealing with it and finding more about how like she wasn't perfect and he wasn't perfect and who did it, why they did it, that whole type of thing. But it's really well done, and it's also funny. It's not like a creepy show, but it's definitely like jaw dropping, and it's a quick watch.
Cool.
So
Nice, nice, nice.
Another one I just finished, and there's only one season of it, so now's a good time, is The Outsider on HBO, the Stephen King. It's like a recent book of his, but it's just really good. It's it's like starts as like a murder mystery, but then kind of turns into like a paranormal, ancient beasts type thing.
Wow.
It like really zigs. Like, you're just like, okay, did this guy do this murder? And then the next thing you know, they're talking about ancient demons and stuff, and it's like, but it works.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really good. It's
That's like the Watchmen series. Remember when we
Yeah.
were talking about that, and it was like, wait, what are we talking? We were in like Oklahoma, and now we're like on Mars.
Yeah.
What is this show about?
It's funny. It's just like they start talking about something, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. They're just talking about it, and then it kind of becomes like they're talking about this ancient thing is like more of a belief system between all the people. Like, what do you believe in? All this stuff.
Wow.
And then that really starts picking up steam as like a main theme of it, and you're like, oh, wow, we really just shifted from this murder to this paranormal ancient demon thing, and it's really good. And it's on HBO. It's 10 episodes.
Nice.
I'm on episode 4 of that.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so I think I just kind of got to the part where it's kind of shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bring in, is her name Holly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of where the shift sort of starts. Sort of.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think I've watched a show where I've needed to know why things are happening in such a long time. Like, I want to know so badly, but it's also, I get creeped out very easily. So it's one of those shows too where I'm like, all right, well, one was enough for today because the way it ended was so creepy.
Yeah. Is that you? You got bigger on my screen because of dog barking. Yeah, there was a scene at the end of one of the episodes where it wasn't even like a scary scene, but it happened, like there's a connection happened, and I just like got chills, like actual chills. I was like, that's never happened before. I wasn't scared. It was just like a connection, and I was like, oh my God.
I remember you saying that, and when I finish it, I want to know what part it was that made you.
Yeah.
I love when that happens on the show.
If it already happened, I want to know if it also freaked me out. It probably did. Everything in that show scares me.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's going to be a limited series or a regular series or what. Because it said season finale at the end of it, but it was a book, so I don't know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah. It's always, because I haven't read the book, so I wonder if they covered everything that happens, or because Stephen King usually writes pretty long books.
Yeah, it was like 1,500 pages.
Yeah, and they split that into 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I did think of one other one for me. Have you guys seen On My Block?
I've heard of it.
It's like a teen coming of age thing, but I don't know. It's a different perspective. It's kind of like a low income community, and they kind of have the struggles. There's like gangs and like just kind of a different perspective on that like coming of age story. But it's a pretty good watch. It gets intense at times, and it's just I don't know. It's just a little bit of a different perspective on some of that stuff, because I feel like some of those coming of age ones kind of get a little stale, and I think just with the like diversity in this one, it's pretty good. And there's 2 seasons out, and or 3 seasons out and a fourth one coming. So it's a little bit of an easy watch, but I mean at times it gets a little bit more heavy just with the content with gangs and stuff like that. So if I think they're like half-hour episodes too, so it makes it easy to just kind of binge through. So if you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much away, but
Nice.
another one for you. Yeah.
Nice. I have one more I just thought of. One more comedy. Community, which I've talked about a few times already, but it's on Hulu and it's gonna be on Netflix, I think, in April, which will be nice because no more ads like Hulu. There's like
those Hulu ads.
yeah, there's like 6 seasons of that show, and there's like 20 episodes per season, so there's a lot to watch, and it's just a feel-good, goofy comedy about a Spanish study group of all different ages because it's a community college. So you have like someone who's 18, like Allison Brie, and then Chevy Chase are in the same Spanish studies. But it turns into like it's not about them being a study group anymore. They're like friends and then deal with like ridiculous community college events. Like there's a paintball tournament every season that always turns into like an actual, like they have to shut down the school because it becomes too dangerous because people take it too seriously.
Oh god.
So it's just like really ridiculous, but it's very funny and very good.
That's
I've seen some. Well, I was gonna say I've seen some like random
there we go.
episodes of that. What?
You go.
I've said I've seen some random episodes of that, and I feel like it's like an underrated show. Like it's really funny and ridiculous, but it's really good. And that's awesome. That's gonna be on Netflix because I might like return to that and kind of watch it in succession. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, isn't that like Donald Glover's big break? Really?
Yeah, it was his first, like, I think up until that point he'd like had a few appearances. Like he had a recurring random spot on like 30 Rock that he would just play like this random guy all the time and have like one line. But this was his first like big breakout, and he's so funny in it. Like he's one of like the like he steals the show. Or he's on it for, I think he only leaves in like for the last season because that's when Childish Gambino started taking off.
Yeah.
He's in it for most of it, and he's so good. Just all the characters they have good chemistry, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Sweet.
That's good. So we didn't really have anything for looking ahead, because some things are sort of at a pause, but I guess my looking ahead would be Onward coming out because I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, especially in a couple weeks, it'll just be on Disney Plus. I'll take an afternoon and watch that.
I think all those like theater releases, I'm kind of looking forward to. I know that Tom, you mentioned a couple of them, but I just think that's a cool like thing in this day and age when things are a little bit crazy. It's kind of a nice thing to have to like look forward to.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, so episodes 3 and 4 of Avenue 5 and the first episode of Westworld. That's our homework.
That's right.
I hope I can find the time.
All right, so Avenue 5 and Westworld. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.